With the third pick in the 2021 NFL Draft, the San Francisco 49ers select Trey Lance, quarterback, North Dakota State.
And it is the Bison, Trey Lance. Just 17 career starts, only one game due to COVID this year. A young man from a small town in Minnesota, couldn't get recruited by many Power 5 schools as a quarterback, and he decided to bet on himself and believe in himself. He is a quarterback, he thought. North Dakota State agreed. He had 17 stellar starts for them, and now he strolls to an NFL draft floor, tears in his eyes, as the quarterback of the future of the San Francisco 49ers. What a moment. It's Trey Lance, everybody, which means Justin Fields and Mac Jones are still on the board. We'll discuss that in a moment. But for the moment, let's take this in.
This is big. I'm excited for Trey Lance. This is somebody, again, you mentioned it, Rich. He bet on himself. Think about a life change. When I talked to him, I asked him what he was doing, wondering if there was going to be a season. He was trying to work out and throw. He was spending some time babysitting a family's kid so that he could make some money to live while he was staying in Fargo. And now fast forward, he only plays one game this year. He's the third pick in the draft going into an unbelievable situation with the 49ers. Great for him.
And I still say, don't underestimate what the 49ers did in this process, because go back to that time you were sitting there and the trade was made. They decided to go to all the pro days and ask Trey Lance to have a second pro day, Justin Fields to have a second pro day. They did their due diligence. They did the deep dive. And I think they fell in love with the makeup of Trey Lance and his mind as much as his football ability. That's why they made the decision to go with this guy who can do everything in their offense.
And you see on the screen, to me, breaking it down, he's got poise. He makes great decisions, doesn't turn the ball over. Kyle Shanahan gets to play 11 on 11 right now because you're going to have to account for the running ability of your quarterback. I was around Steve McNair late in his career with the Baltimore Ravens. I saw a lot of Steve McNair in Trey Lance.
What's going on, folks? Back and try to do this video real quick, talking about our draft class. Wanted to get it out sooner, but I've had a lot of shit that's been going on. But anyway, all right. First round, we got our quarterback of the future, Trey Lance. The kid's built 6'4", 225, 26 pounds. Throws the ball well. Runs. Y'all know the story about Trey Lance. And I'm not one of these people that looks at a 67% career completion percentage in college as a bad thing. Now, there's a lot of other quarterbacks that have come out of college that have had 50-something% completion percentages. Cap was one of them. So, you know, I think Dak's career completion percentage coming out of college was 67%. Dak's a good quarterback. So, you know, for everybody saying the man is so inconsistent accuracy-wise, how do you complete 2 out of every 3 of your passes? Because two-thirds is 66%, and be inaccurate. It blows my mind. But anyway, you know, I was really high on Trey Lance leading up. I mean, it's the guy I wanted, but I will be honest, I thought we were probably going to go the Justin Fields route. We didn't. We ended up with Trey Lance. So, love it. Our next pick was Aaron Banks, a guard out of Notre Dame. You know, the kid, I think in over 1,000 career snaps at guard at Notre Dame. The kid only allowed 2 sacks. He didn't allow 1 sack all of last year. So he's really good at pass pro. Bigger guy. I mean, 6'5", 320 something, 330 pounds. So he's a beefy motherfucker. He looks like he's athletic enough to get to that second level on reach blocks and pull blocks and things like that we do in this zone running scheme. Notre Dame seemed to use a zone running scheme, and he was just fine in it, opening holes and everything like that. And you could say what you want about Notre Dame as a whole, but their running game was legit. And like I said, he really good in pass pro. He's a big guy. It's really hard to get around him and get through him. And then our next pick after that was Trey Sermon, the running back out of Ohio State by way of Oklahoma. Trey Sermon was a beast at Oklahoma too. And then he wanted to go play with Justin Fields in Ohio State. And, so he did. And he put up really impressive numbers. I think for his entire career between the 2 colleges, he averaged like 6.5 yards a carry in college. 1 year at Oklahoma, I think he was over 7. Really legit running back, has good vision. His 10-yard split, I think it is. That's from 1 to 10 yards, how fast you are. He is one of the top in this draft class at that. He doesn't have the long speed, like, okay, the guy ran 4.5 something, but what makes him so successful, especially when he gets in the open field, that people start putting hands on him, he has really good contact balance, and it's really hard to take him down. Now, don't take this the wrong way, and I'm not comparing him to this guy I'm about to say, but his contact balance, that part of his game, and how he's so hard to take down, reminds me of the way Marshawn Lynch ran. Now, will Trey Sermon ever be that good? Nobody fucking knows. And I'm not comparing him. I don't like comparing rookies to other pros that have already done it or are doing it. I will say that I like this pickup, and with our first 3, it gave a clear indication that we want to go more run heavy. Plus, we're also looking at the future in that running back room. Every one of our running backs, I believe, is on the last year or only re-signed for a 1-year deal. So, there's that. And then our next pick after that, also in the 3rd round, was Ambry Thomas, defensive back out of Michigan. He opted out last year. Really can't hold that against him. A lot of players opted out for certain reasons. But the year he did play, he played pretty good at Michigan. And what I think he had under a 50% completion percentage when targeted. And I think he only gave up 1 touchdown last year. But he looks like a scrappy little outside corner. He's got the length. He's 5'11", and I think he has an 80-something inch wingspan or something. So he's got the length to play. What I saw from what I seen of him, he seems to play the right way, like turn his head when the ball's in the air so that he don't get called for a lot of pass interference calls. We need that. A lot of our DBs don't seem to do that, and they'll try to run through the goddamn guy a lot of the time. I mean, Jason Verrett doesn't. Jason Verrett's really good. We'll see how big of a jump. I'm already forgetting my own goddamn players' names. But anyway, our other DB, we'll see how much of a jump he makes. And then after that, we went in the 5th round. Our first 5th round pick, we took a tackle out of Western Michigan. 311-pound guy, 6'4". I guess that's kind of short for a tackle. He can play guard. He has versatility there. He was playing left tackle in college and looked pretty good doing it. You know, I really don't got much to say about him. And then our next 5th round pick was Diamador Lenore, a defensive back out of Oregon. At first, he opted out last season. Then he decided he was going to play. Put together a decent year. I think he's a 3 or 4 year starter at Oregon. Didn't miss any games. And he looks like a scrappy guy. Now, he played the outside at Oregon. I don't know if they want him to play the outside here in the NFL. Maybe they convert him to a nickel DB. He's about the same size as Ambry Thomas. You know, scrappy, feisty little guy. He gets up, press coverage. And that's another thing about Ambry Thomas. So I'm starting to think that our defense might change a little bit in the secondary as far as not running as much zone. Dick Sherman ain't there, and that really seemed to be all he could play was zone because he'd get toasted too much playing man. So we got DBs that are fast enough and DBs that are scrappy enough to play more man. So we're probably going to, you'll see us running more man on man. And then our next 5th round pick was safety out of USC, Talanoa Hufanga. Really surprised this kid was still on the board at the 180th pick. You know, this guy is really good. He's a hitter. He causes turnovers, gets TFLs. He's all over the goddamn field. 6 foot, a little over 200 pounds. Has been training with Troy Polamalu. Okay, he's been training with him, but does that mean he's as good as him? No. But it's nice that, you know, he's being trained by pretty much a future Hall of Famer. If Polamalu hasn't already gotten in, maybe I missed that. But so yeah, you know, and he's not the fastest dude, so he lacks a little in coverage, but as a box safety and a hybrid nickel backer, I don't know if we'll really count on him for coverage 100% or very often. We're going to want him more in the run game and probably throw in some blitzes with this kid. I think he makes the 53, you know, and takes somebody's spot on there because our backups behind Tartt at strong safety, I mean, they are what they are. They're not very good, to be honest with you. So, yeah, there's that. And then our very last pick, 194, is Elijah Mitchell, running back, Louisiana Lafayette. The kid's fast, ran in his own system in college. He may not gotten or been the bell cow because they used 2 running backs, and honestly, I've watched both the running backs out of that school, and they're both pretty goddamn good. I think the other running back, he either got drafted or went undrafted. I think he went to like the Raiders or something, but both the running backs are pretty good. For things I've seen, his athletic score was the only other person that had an athletic score as high as Elijah Mitchell in this entire draft class was Travis Etienne. But Elijah Mitchell, you know, he's got some things to work on. He really does. You know, finish runs a little more violently. I want to see him go through people, and he's got to get his pads down a little bit more. He almost reminds me the way he runs out of a running back in this class. The way Najee Harris runs upright, that's how Elijah Mitchell runs. A little too upright. But, you know, I also heard he converted from wide receiver in high school. So, you know, there's that. No, I don't think we're going to play him at receiver. He's going to be a running back in our system. But he's got Bobby Turner as a running backs coach, so I think Bobby Turner will really work on that with him and drill it into him. Overall, I like what we did in this class. Doubled up on O-line. We needed doubled up on running back. That shocked the shit out of me. Doubled up on DB. Cool. Got our future quarterback. Got a backup safety. You know, we addressed areas of need and got depth at those areas. Great. I love it. Got key contributors that could come in this year. Love it. So overall, I really like what we did in the draft. Overall, solid draft, and I am not upset at all at this draft and what happened. And then undrafted free agents, I mean, we'll see on them. We picked up 4, a tight end, 2 linebackers, and a wide receiver. You know, the receiver, he's more of a possession guy. Austin Watkins Jr., you know, almost in the same role as like a Kendrick Bourne. And then one of the linebackers, he's got the potential to be really, really good. He's just got to get off injuries. You know, he had to play 6 years in college because he was injured so goddamn often that in order to get any tape of playing time, he had to be there 6 years. So, and that's Justin Hilliard, the linebacker at Ohio State. So, you know, if he shows something, stays healthy, I think he can make this roster as a depth piece. Maybe end up moving up. But, you know, a few of these guys will start out on special teams. You got to make a mark on this team at special teams, especially as a rookie. If you're one of these depth pieces that want to crawl up this roster, you got to start out. And that's why I like Hufanga's mentality. He said, first off, because he knows what it's going to take to make the roster and climb up the ranks, he wants to start out and be a Pro Bowl special teamer. That's cool. You know, if you know that's what you want to do, okay. Hey, you're shooting for Pro Bowl as a rookie. Nice. But that's really all I got, guys. I got to go. This was 15 minutes, so that's really my take on this draft class, you know, and I think Trey Lance starts week 1 also. But that's all I got. I'm out.